Yorokobe shonen. Rejoice. Because Kirei just got this not MP buff, skill buff, but for the like most important gameplay part of him that like really makes him stand out. That part got buffed. Do I think it's really funny that he got buffed before Koyan Dark, even though like I don't want to say like Kirei didn't need it more. I'm just exposed to like hearing people want Koyan Dark buff more because Plushie's anime arc this year has been amazing. It has been like some of the most consistent content this year. And it's gonna be even funnier if he does his hot takes on Cuckoo and Koyan Dark gets buffed the day after. I think it will just be really funny, and I hope that actually happens. Because hey, Plushie will finally get that MP buff. Doesn't matter, he's gonna want to delete the Cuckoo video. He'll probably be happy. He'll probably rejoice. Alright, so let's talk about Kirei. Base attack 11.1k. This is on the lower side for 5 stars. Yeah, definitely on the lower side. HP 14k. Again, or no, not again, but on the opposite end, Kirei kind of like, he'd want to be lower HP, but he really doesn't care. Because it's either he's at 0 or is it... Sorry. Because for him, it's pretty much he's at 0 HP or 1 HP. He does not stay anything other than that for very long. 0.42% MP gain. That lines up pretty well with the arts cards, although again, it is on the lower side, but we'll get to it on my opinions on this stuff. Star Gen, Star Weight, these are normal alter ego numbers. Yep, hit counts, they all look really good, especially the quick cards being 5 hit. Especially for an arts unit, like most of them, they don't have like decent Star Gen, but like he actually does have like decent quick cards for gains. It would help if this number was higher for his quick cards, but like his mighty chains go pretty hard, I'm not gonna lie. All right, first skill, targeted heal of 2k HP and a cleanse. You might think you would use this on Rasputin. It depends. You would use this for the cleanse, not the heal. But 30% attack for 3 turns. Also, this is on a 4-turn cooldown. So with a pen 5, that is 100% uptime on this attack buff. And just like decent uptime on his kit. Like you can't say no to 100% uptime now, can you? Second skill, 30% battery, but another 20% battery if you're evil alignment. So basically, this is Taigon Wong's battery skill, like essentially the same. It's a 30 for himself and AoE 20, but this only works for evil alignment. And also, speaking of evil alignment, arts buff for evil alignment. So technically, you could use Kirei as a pseudo support, but that would pretty much only be multi-core if the single target is evil, which isn't the hardest thing. You are able to make your allies evil just by using Jacques de Molay or Archer Moriarty. And then because you made them evil, you also have Domin synergy also going in there, especially if they're chaotic. That's the way you make chaotic good servants get full Domin buffs. But yep, let's move on. So this was the skill before. Guts, 1 time 3 turns, 1 HP, and stackable with other guts. Whenever sorry, 1 second. Okay, yeah, sorry. Kirei also gets another guts, but it's not a real guts. It's a chance-based guts. So if the chance procs, you get a guts for that instant. If you lose that 80-20, you just die. So even though it will say on screen you have a guts, that is not a real guts. It's a chance-based guts. Yep. Also a taunt here. Just wanted to point this out before I moved on to the other part, which is what really got buffed. So 300% chance to taunt yourself. Sorry, 500% chance to taunt yourself. For 300% for 3 turns. TLDR. This is George, St. George's first skill, or that part of it is his first skill. Very strong taunt. Basically, no one else is getting hit as long as they don't have a taunt of this level. And the last part, and this is what really got buffed. Whenever Guts procs, he got MP damage that lasts 4 or 5 turns. So, the buff skill, they specifically said that this Guts was stackable with non-probabilistic Guts. What does that mean? It means no necromancy or the new version of Ishigo Kaori from Beta Bakuraba. Right? That's his name? Ishigo Kari. Yep. Alright. So, they made it because there is more than one. They made it so, like, you can act, like, they had to point it out. Because having 2 probability Guts just sounds like a nightmare and also easily exploited. Because if one didn't proc, the other might. So it was like another layer of RNG and security, but it just can't work. There's probably a coding issue of having both of them active. Like if I had to guess, it's a coding issue. So yeah, literally any other Guts will work with Kirei's first Guts. Yeah. Yeah, so the part about the Guts activating, they now made the Guts not MP damage for himself, party-wide MP damage. And then they made it so every time he takes a hit, 10% crit damage for himself. So the MP damage is very helpful in CQs where there are a lot of enemies and Kirei can just like keep getting his Guts procced and he just keeps charging the like MP damage for whoever else he's fighting. If you're fighting 6 enemies and he's actually able to survive that entire time, that is 100% MP damage you got for your other DPS. That is more than Black Rail, and you did it by Kirei just being the masochist that he is. Because you can't say that this is not a masochistic skill. It is. He's literally getting stronger because he's dying. Like he gets such pleasure and strength from almost dying. He's literally like, this is literally a Zenkai boost. Like I don't know any other word for this other than a Zenkai boost. Like from Dragon Ball. Like literally on death's door, and he keeps standing back up and getting stronger. So yeah. Is there an issue with him getting crit damage? Yes, but no. I'm gonna bring this up later. And it specifically has to do with these servants that got Guts. Like Zenobia got her Guts buff, and then King Tut. Gonna come back to this later when I get to the Bond CE, but it's more proof for me that they're doing something to Bond CEs, and they're doing it soon, because they have been like, they took a break from it, but now these most recent buffs have are more synergistic with their Bond CE. And again, it's not just Kirei, it's Zenobia, it's King Tut, and I think there were a couple other servants that have their Bond CEs like basically rebuffed because of a skill buff. Like it doubles down on what the Bond CE wants to do. So we'll get to that soon. Passive skills are arts up 8%, executor 8% crit damage, and star gen. Nice that he has extra star gen. It makes these 5-hit quick cards even better that he has higher star gen than the normal alter ego number. Mental debuff resistance up 30%. And poison proof. So all these two are Kirei passives. This is pure Rasputin. Because that guy apparently like drank liquid mercury and did not fucking die. Like if AKA the stuff that they put in thermometers, he drank that shit and did not die. If you don't know, liquid mercury is extremely poisonous. So the fact that Rasputin actually pulled that shit off, it definitely fits fucking Kirei. Guy got a hole blown through his heart and was living for 10 years. Anyway, depends. Definitely skill reloading. This is just really strong for him. Higher uptime on 100% uptime on this, and very high uptime on this to the point that if you use Atlas, you have to rely on RNG obviously for the guts, but you have such a good chance of actually surviving multiple turns. Again, his buffs, his crit buffs, and his MP damage last for 5 turns. That is a lot of time. Other stuff, he has anti-caster as an alter ego. Awesome. Again, I'm not too sure of whether this is a conditional attack, like say Tonaliko's skill, where if you meet the condition, you get the attack buff, or if this is power mod. I'm pretty sure this is like a conditional attack buff. So more damage against casters. He loops easier. If this is the difference between him getting overkill to help his loop and it not, like if you're fighting casters, why not turn this on? Like we can swap appends now. So if you are not gonna fight casters, turn this off. If you are gonna fight casters, turn it on. Simple. Mana loading for just arts teams in general, like more charge is more charge, less battery you have to pop yourself, or changing when you pop batteries. Although with Kirei specifically, you're probably going to pop his battery first because it's also an art spot for him. If you wait for the battery for a better time, like say how I farm with Ibuki, you are actually making your looping harder than it needs to be. And then extra attack for Kirei. The Sergeant isn't as bad as it could be because of his passive. The MP gain is like more the issue with this 5-hit extra attack. Finesse is gonna clean it up, but it's not gonna be as good as it could be. And finally, MP AoE 4-hit arts, super effective against evil alignment. Burn plus burn amp, curse plus curse amp, and then 60% chance to insta kill good alignment enemies. Okay, so this insta kill, I'm telling you, do not rely on this because good alignment means servants. How often do you insta kill servants? I can count on my hand and still have a finger left over how many times I've actually seen this work or seen this insta kill proc in a CQ, and that's with Summer Kiara, and her base insta kill chance is 100%. 100% flat, by the way. So if Kiara, I've only seen that 4 times happen in a CQ. 4 times since I've got her, and she's come out. So this is almost 3 years now, 2.5 years, and it's only happened 4 times. What are your chances of it actually happening with Kirei? Not a lot, especially because it says good alignment and not an attribute like Earth, because that would just work better. Because all mobs have attributes; they do not have alignments. Very few enemies have alignments, and it's basically they are servants that are just usually not playable. Like we have the Iris Veals, Kurnos, Yuoga, Gatia, the Cursed Egg from Summer 8, like the Columbus Egg, but fucking weird. Alter Benny Yemba, Big Bargus, Baby Karen. Yeah, so very, very, very few enemies have an alignment. These just happen to be servants or enemies that have a good alignment. It's not common. So if they buff this in the future, I would definitely hope they look at this and like up the chance or do something, because it's not gonna happen. 60% chance, don't rely on it. This is where servants are usually. So around 12%. Oh. And if you have the insta-kill mystic code, it only bumps up to 18. I don't even think you have enough buttons to reset the RNG on this. To like actually try to like brute force insta-kill farm. Don't rely on this. Last part of MP, arts up, 20% scales to 40 and activates first, only lasts one turn. They're not going to give him ramp up, especially because he has such high MP damage ramp up that is dependent on the enemies you're fighting, not Kirei. So it could literally go from like you only getting 100% for in 5 turns, or no, 60% in 3 turns, because you're fighting a caster and it only hits you once and then it uses a skill. Or if you're super, super lucky, it could potentially ramp up to like 180%, maybe even higher. It like, depending on how lucky you are with Kirei and how many times his guts is proccing, like if you're fighting 6 enemies, that is literally like a potential 360% MP damage if you don't die. Gotta preface, if you don't die. That is 0.8 times raised to the 18th power. 0.8 or 8/10 times itself 18 times. Every single time it gets further and further away from 1, meaning it's a less likely chance of you getting that many guts to proc in a row. First couple, decent chance, but literally it goes from 0.8 to 0.64 in the first iteration, and it just keeps getting lower and lower. I would show the calculation, like what is the likely chance of that actually happening. Trust me, it's not high. It's not high. You're cutting a 5th off every single iteration, at least. All right, so let us go to the Bond CE and why I'm like talking about like how their buffs recently have been relating back to Bond CEs. So it's 30% MP damage. When the guts activates, you get 20 stars. So we go back to here. Every time his guts procs, 20% MP damage for the party, along with 20 stars. And then every time he gets hit, crit damage. So say his guts procs 3 times in 1 turn. He got 30% crit damage, he got 60 stars, and he got 60 MP damage for the party. That is crazy utility for a tank. Like, not even a tank, this is a straight up taunter for like party utility, especially if you don't even need Kirei to stay alive. Like if he's on the field to just take hits so that your support, like your main DPS, is just like free for 3 turns, along with getting like extra MP damage, that's a like fairly good use case. Like you don't need high copies of Kirei if that's what you want to use him for. Literally just a tank to amp up your MP damage. Because again, this lasts for 5 turns. That is really good duration for MP damage. That is such good duration. Like you literally go like that is cast story buffs, you popping them and them coming off cooldown. So, do I think Kirei is someone you need to summon for? No, but it's Kirei, Kotomine Kirei. He is literally one of the most popular characters for Fate Stay Night. He is one of those characters you show people to get them into Fate. And he has some of the best fucking scenes in Fate Stay Night. Kirei is like a cool character of what happens if you like, if society, the limits you put on from society are released and you just do whatever, like your, what is it? It's like the id or the, I think it's the id stops the ego from telling you no. That's Kirei. That's how he was in Fate Stay Night. He did shit because he wanted to. Not because someone told him he couldn't do it because it was someone else said it was wrong. Now, do I think he's a good person? Fuck no. Do I think he's cool though? Yeah. His dynamic with Gilgamesh was like really cool to watch. And then his dynamic with Shiro and his father, like taking back shots from fucking both of them, isn't that something? But yeah, Kirei, cool character, cool buff, really cool if they actually do something with Bond CEs. Like for instance, let you like run a Bond CE along with Black Rail or another Gut CE. Imagine he can run this with a Gut CE that gives him, I don't want to say damage cut, but like something else. All right. That's it for this video. I recorded this early this morning. Felt I was boofing. Wanted to re-record it. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.